DIY isn't just a weekend hobby anymore. It's turning into a full-blown economic force. But what does this mean for the way we shop, the way we build, the way we even invest in homes? From ceramics to smart tech installs, DIY projects are exploding across the US. In fact, 72% of adults completed a craft last year, and over 41% of homeowners tackled home improvement projects in 2024. This video pulls from hours of research across consumer trends, retail data, real estate reports, all pointing to the same conclusion. DIY is rewriting the rules. Okay, I would not be the nerd that I am if I didn't start looking at this trend by the numbers. So let's take a look. US home improvement market has grown to $522 billion in 2023 and is on course to hit $616 billion by 2029. Global Makerspace services are already over $5 billion and climbing at about 12% annual growth rate. Etsy alone now counts for 8 million active sellers, up 9 times since 2024. And hashtag DIY on TikTok has now 22.7 million posts and billions of views, all pointing to the same thing. DIY is here to stay and people are interested in learning more. I'm gonna ask, what does DIY mean to you? For me, it can mean choosing to build your own patio versus hiring out to someone else, or creating your own hand soaps because you can't find one that meets your skin needs. All of those things are part of the DIY movement. And I'm gonna speak to just 2 of these specific types of segments. So the first one is the creative first DIY makers. And so those are the ones where they are creating from a place of escapism, from a place of mental wellness, or maybe even creating a side hustle. I recently met a business owner who sold her entire marketing agency because she just didn't want to do that kind of a hustle anymore, and instead has opened her own pottery agency, and she is loving that. She gets to spend time with her family and spend her time the way she wants to, doing a craft that's restorative and beautiful. And so that is the type of creative first DIY maker that I'm talking about. So in terms of this segment, their media preferences include Etsy. I don't think that's a surprise, but also you'll find them on Patreon. You'll find them at craft fairs. You'll find them on Discord. Those are the types of places that they like to play and interact with other creators in the space. You'll also see that there's a sizable number of these creators that are really leaning into 3D printed toys, which is a favorite of my kids. They love the 3D printed toys that you can fidget with and that make into keychains and things. So that is a little bit about that segment, creative first DIY makers. The second segment that we're gonna talk about is the home improvement DIYers. And immediately what comes to my mind is there's a couple that I know that purchased a really old home, and instead of hiring someone to bring this house up to code, they decided that they were going to completely reinstall the electric system themselves. I don't recommend that. Don't come for me if that's your cup of tea, but it is not mine. But this couple successfully renovated their home, successfully rewired their entire home with all fingers and toes intact. But this is who I'm talking about when I'm saying DIYers that are into home improvement. So they are motivated by economics. It costs less to do it yourself versus pay someone both the material and the labors. I think we understand that. So they are leaning into painting themselves. They're changing their lighting, or they're even gardening. So there's a big movement of gardeners and people wanting to create homesteads. And so we see that as part of this trend. So I will say that this is a rising movement of people wanting to DIY their homes. So what is fueling the rise of these DIYers? Number one, especially here in 2025, which is 2025 and like nobody's business, we are seeing a squeeze of the economy. So labor costs have gone up Inflation has increased the cost of goods. And so a lot of people are turning into I will do it myself mentality. And a note, this isn't just for DIYers, but we're especially seeing it in this consumer segment. We also see a rise of DIYers because it's becoming prevalent across social media. You'll see it on Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube, people making videos, and when they make those videos, they're not showing all of their stumbles or flaws. They're making it look seamless. You can completely flip a house in 5 minutes of a YouTube video instead of seeing the years of practice and repetition that possibly went into it. So social media is making DIY look very easy. Another thing that's making this segment rise is that technology, when we talked about 3D printers earlier, technology is becoming more accessible. And so when the cost of these technologies comes down and more people can use it in their daily lives or go to a makerspace and use it, then that means it's more accessible. More people are going to come into that segment. And lastly, I think this is a nice tie-in with another video that I did on sustainability, is DIY also overlaps pretty nicely with some other macro trends. So macro trends of personalization, sustainability, and pride in creation. And so when you see macro trends that overlap with each other, you are going to see a rise in that segment. Let's take a look at the Molton Makerspace in High Point, North Carolina to see how they're really capitalizing on this trend.
So I felt very unfulfilled working for other people, and I missed my glass and creative community as well. So around this time, we met each other, and Morgan really inspired me and supported me in starting my own business. So that's when I started Molton Makerspace officially, but it was only a mobile business focusing on glassworking. So I was doing team building and birthday parties and anniversary celebrations and that sort of thing. And then almost 1 year ago, we opened this place. So we combined both of our businesses together, and we added the gaming side of things as well.
As well as a whole variety of other makerspace options like 3D printing and resin printing and candles and a variety of other things. But we also added in the gamer space, which does a couple of things. It adds in a creative outlet so that you can use what you make in something that you're already going to use in your day-to-day life. It allows the community to have a space to play games, buy games, or sell their own products. And then it also allows for a secondary income source, allowing us to funnel more into the teaching and the education, as well as the community engagement.
And then as far as the makerspace goes, it was really important to us to make this an inviting and welcoming community-centered space, because what we had sort of recognized in other makerspaces is that they were very focused on come in, make your product, and leave. We wanted this to be a place where people can come and be comfortable, have fun, create in a social environment, and use this really as a launch pad to start their own business if they want to do so.
It's more affordable, first off, and you feel more fulfilled when you make something yourself. Mm-hmm. I always did it because it was cheaper.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the truth, right?
So being able to do it yourself or being able to buy something that was made here also means that you get to avoid tariffs.
Amen to
and
that.
a whole bunch of other things, as long as the products are sourced locally and things like that, which we also are working on building a supply chain for locally sourced materials. Then we're at 35 different businesses as of now.
Nice.
Those really, really big ones, as our space is getting larger when we get our new location here in the next couple months, hopefully. We will be doing a lot more with birthday parties and gaming stuff, but we don't have the space to accommodate a lot of the larger groups yet. Otherwise, that would be in that list as well. But those are some of the big ones.
So there's lots of ways that we're actively working on expanding. One thing that we're very excited about is we've been working with the city of High Point. The city of High Point is really known for their furniture market. But as furniture market is sort of decreasing in size, they're very passionate about bringing in creative businesses and making High Point the new design capital of the state, potentially of the country.
So High Point is looking to expand, I guess, their branding as a design center.
Right. And that creative entrepreneurship is very much in line with what we're passionate about and what we're doing. Advice for somebody like that, I would say absolutely it matters who you surround yourself with. So surround yourself with ambitious people who are really getting work done. Don't surround yourself with people who want to knock you down a peg or who don't believe in your dreams. If somebody's trying to box you into something or limit what they think you should do, I would say don't listen to their advice. We've had a lot of people from the beginning try to say, oh, your vision is too broad, you're focusing on too many things, you need to narrow it down to an age group or a type of making or just gaming, etc. As well as surrounding yourself with people who think outside of the box. That's really important too. The other part of advice I would say is don't be afraid of the hard work. It's going to be very normal to be working 18-hour days, 7 days a week, and it's going to feel absolutely impossible sometimes to keep going. But it really matters the work that you put in at the beginning, and it's going to pay off later. So let's say, be motivated, you can do it, and just know it's hard and you're not alone. There's lots of entrepreneurs going through it. So if you want to come check out Molton Makerspace for yourself, we are currently located at 3805 Tinsley Drive, Suite 109 in High Point. We're right off of East Chester. We're open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, so we are open to the public. Anybody can come in at any time. If you are a member, we are open until 4 a.m. for members. So we have memberships for the Gamerspace, we have memberships for the Makerspace, and we have combo memberships for both.
That rise in DIY creativity and hands-on problem solving, it's the same mindset behind launching a great business. So if you've got an idea that you are thinking about turning into something real, I've built a free GPT that is called Idea Testing Assistant. You'll get unlimited access to messaging validation, genuine feedback from your target audience, and idea refinement tools all in one place. Just go to the top link in the description and start testing your concept ideas today. So we have just seen how this trend is coming to life. And this business is already experiencing growth and they're looking to expand their storefront. So where do we see this trend heading in the next few years for businesses that want to capitalize on it? I'm going to call out 3 things that I think you can expect and hold me accountable. Call me out if in the next year, next 3 years, we don't see it. So the first thing that I'm going to call out is that I'm expecting makerspaces to evolve to have more than one purpose. So as consumers get really comfortable with merging real life with digital life, they will expect businesses to meet them in the middle, to have seamless transition between what happens in real life plus what happens in the digital world. So I expect makerspaces to include memberships as well as virtual classes for people who want to experience the makerspace both physically and digitally. The second thing that I'm calling out is that we will see makerspaces start to integrate some more of these high-tech smart tools. So think you're going to a makerspace, but you also can use AR goggles to take the same training class that someone in person is taking. So smart integration of both in-person technology, but also augmented reality technology as well. And the third thing that I'm calling out now is that we'll start to see DIY lean more heavily into that sustainability space. I think energy is going to be an issue probably sooner rather than later. So you'll see businesses lean into how can they offer the same services in a sustainable way. So like I talked about earlier, DIY overlays with sustainability. And so you'll start to see people not only repair and upcycle, but then resell those same materials. So think about a chandelier that was made out of entirely plastic bottles or plastic bottle wrappers. And then that person who created it, not only did they keep all of those plastic bottles out of the landfill, they upcycled them into something beautiful that they can sell. So you'll start to see this circularity as people are looking for ways to build businesses that not only benefit their pockets, but also benefit the world. Okay, so what can businesses do to capitalize on this trend if you're wanting to make money from this? The first thing is bundle and teach. So think about selling a project where people can build something themselves. I'm thinking Lunchables for some reason. And it comes with a QR code on with video instructions on how to do that. So that is something that is a high margin product. It offers an education layer and it can be easily scaled to in-person lessons. So that is something that people can do and start to capitalize on this, bundle and teach. The second thing that businesses can lean into is partner with makerspaces and influencers. Maybe it is not your dream to open a makerspace or create a DIY product. Okay, then partner with someone and you can capitalize on the trend that way by supporting an endeavor that has the same values and same approach as you would. Then the third thing on how businesses can capitalize on this trend is making shoppable how-to content. So ChatGPT is now the new storefront. It is rolling out e-commerce within their own platform. So it means businesses, whether you sell services or a tangible product, need to show up on that shelf set. So how can you create content that shows up in the AI and also gives them easy access to purchase from you? So the fourth way that businesses can capitalize on this trend, maybe you're not ready to dive headfirst. One of the benefits that Molton Makerspace offers is an entrepreneur coaching. So they partner with smaller businesses who are looking to take their hobbies maybe into a full-time business, and it gives you the space, the coaching, and the resources to do so. So this entrepreneur path might be for you. And that is where the DIY boom is headed. Smart tools, circular systems, and entire businesses launching from community makerspaces. But this shift isn't just about hands-on creativity, it's part of a larger movement where people, especially younger buyers, are making every decision through the lens of their values. If you want to see how Gen Z is driving the market and the transformation of it, click the video on the screen now. It breaks down how they're buying with purpose, not just price.